Hey guys, hey, it's Bob. Just getting my camera going here. Oh, there you can see my face. Hey, it's Bob. I'm working on some suspension today, and I wanted to do a little video on this because I haven't seen it anywhere up on YouTube or anything like that. We're doing the suspension on this KTM. It's a little 65. It has AER forks on it. In other words, the right fork is air, and the left fork it handles the dampening. Unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever, this bike only has rebound dampening. It does not have any compression dampening. Now, in saying that, of course, you have compression dampening from the air fork itself. By varying the pressure, you can vary the compression dampening, varying the air pressure. Is that what I said? Okay. And anyway, so we had a problem. We rebuilt the seals. This is our bike from the Rabbit Hole bike, okay? Everything we've touched on this bike has been just worn out or ragged out or whatever. But anyway, I put new seals in this bike because both of them were leaking. That's all I did on the front forks. If you remember from my other videos, we went through the engine, went through the power valve, went through the clutch. We've just done a lot of work to this bike. But anyway, what I want to talk to you today about is how these forks are different from big bike forks, if you've done any big bikes, and how to tune them a little bit. Okay, so we noticed that the ride on this we had movement in the front end, but it wasn't great to start with. We thought the seals were probably sticking a little bit from just stiction and stuff, but it got worse, or it never got any better. And actually, I guess it got worse in a way. So what we did was we took all the air out of, we eventually took all the air out of the air side of this bike. And, but it didn't improve any at all. So at that point, I put it back up on the lift and took the right side fork off to check it first, okay? And sure enough, when we took it off and tried to compress it, just by pushing down on it on the floor or on the bench here, it would not work. It would not move. So that led us to disassemble the thing, and that's what I want to talk about today. This is the layout of the fork. Of course, this fork tube goes over like this. You've got your inner fork tube, or your dampening system is in here. This is a dampening rod up at the front, and of course your lug and stuff here. This is all made together in a sense in that it's not like big bikes that have a screw bolt down here that you can loosen and get your dampening rod out. To get this dampening rod out, you've got to take the whole assembly apart. So let me arrange this camera just a little bit better, and we'll get started talking about how to take it apart. Okay, as far as disassembling this, again, we try to push down. Once we got it to this point, we tried to push down on the rod. That would not work. We could not push it down. We couldn't get it down. So at that point, the only way to do this, and be careful doing this, is to heat your lug up pretty good, because it's got that blue or better Loctite on it. And then unscrew it. You unscrew it by using a pin wrench up here to unscrew it. So did that, unscrewed, got the lug out. Of course, when I did that, this black oil came out of here. So this thing had never been serviced, or if it had been serviced, they didn't know what they were doing. So that dropped out. There's a spring in here. Unlike the big bikes that don't have springs, these bikes have a spring and the air, so both of them act as a spring. All right, and then the next thing that came out, of course, was a dampening rod. And then, of course, you got your little inner rod here that operates the cap pushes down on that, and that operates the rebound system. Again, this bike only has rebound in it. It's going to have compression. Here's the other unique thing about the bike is that it has this band right here. What this is designed to do when it's in the lower fork leg, okay, it keeps oil above it and air below it. This is where the spring and stuff is. It's not the, when all that black oil poured out, it wasn't supposed to be there at all. Okay, so that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to have air below and oil above. How it gets oil above is you put it to the recommended height and stuff like that, and then it can suck it in through these holes right here, sucks oil in. It also can suck and discharge it through the holes in the side of the thing. There's 4 of those around here. So that creates oil inside here to make your dampening work. Okay, before I get off the subject, in case I forget it, why does it have an air spring and both an adjustable and a regular spring in it? It makes it more adjustable. It makes the air more adjustable than it would be just by air alone. Now in the big bikes, that's different, because in the big bikes that are air supported, that's all you have. You don't have a spring. And that's because you can do bigger adjustments with a bigger bike, and you want a consistency so that you have a consistent feeling on the big bikes. There's little ones, only changing the air pressure a pound or two will make a difference, okay? So, and you don't use nearly as much pressure in those air forks as you would in a big bike, like 40 or 50 40 pounds really. 40 or 50 pounds in the air fork side. This kid's 70 pounds. I think we recommended was around 40 or 44, something like that. So just a little bit of adjustments make a big difference in the thing. All right, so that's what you have going on here. And I'm not going to do the reassembly. I'm not going to do all that stuff. You guys can do that yourself, I hope. But anyway, that's what's going on with this. This is completely different from what you might think, and it's a little bit backwards, but that's the way it is. The disadvantage to this whole thing is the fact that this is screwed to here, and if you get oil down in the bottom part of this leg, below your dampening rod, you got a problem, because the only way to get it out is to do this, okay? You can't take the dampening rod out from the top because it's captured right there by that small hole. There's no way to get it out. So the only way you can get it out is to do that. Now, having said all that, on this bike or on this setup, I'm going to go ahead and reuse this. And the reason for that is that you can't get the damn band by itself. This is the band. This is the only thing that keeps this thing from leaking. You can't get this band by itself from KTM or WP. You have to buy this whole friggin' assembly. It's expensive. So my first step here for this customer is to replace all this stuff. Let's see what happens. See if it holds it and doesn't allow the oil to get back into the lower chamber. If it does, then unfortunately he's going to have to spring for this just to get this stupid band right here. So anyway, that's it for today. I'm gonna put this back together. You don't have to. Be sure and hit that like button and subscribe and all that other BS they ask you to do, and I ask you to do. And I'll catch you on the next flip-flop with more tech tips. Thanks a lot for looking.